Hello everyone and welcome to the Lidar project. So to start with, you're going to go ahead and go into your frame session. You can open up an ArcGIS project, but we're not going to use that first. We actually need to use a browser. So down here, this is your Chrome browser. Go ahead and open it. And we're going to search for Virginia Lidar. So this Virginia.gov LiDAR is the one that we need. Go ahead and click on that. Make sure, again, that you're in the frame session. So here is my actual computer. Here is my frame session virtual computer. I need to do it within frame. And then you are going to search for a particular area in Virginia that you want to study. So can't go wrong with James Madison University. It's not actually the one I did in my example, but it works. Well, that's not good. Can you try refreshing it? There we go. I don't know why there weren't boxes. So each of these boxes is what's called a tile that you can download to see an individual area. This particular set of tiles is from 2020. You can tell by clicking on it, it says the year. You may find some back in 2013 all the way up through about 2022, I think is the last time they did a flyover of any particular part of Virginia, but don't quote me on that. It'll just be whatever you find. And if 2013 is the latest you can find, that's fine. That's what we got. So I actually found 2020 here. Notice how when I click on a box, there is a little menu down here that I can scroll through. I want to make sure that I am on the LPC, download point cloud, and not the DEM. Look how big the DEM is. Don't do that. No good can come of it. So we're going to download the loss point cloud. So you're just going to click LPC. It's going to pop up here. One download in progress, and boom, done. Then, and this is important because it's a frame thing, you're going to have to go into your file explorer, which is also down here. And you're going to want to go to your downloads. And you're going to want to find the one you just downloaded. I've been playing around, so I have a couple, but this is the one I just downloaded. I need to create a folder in my documents. I'm going to go Documents, ArcGIS, Projects, and then I'm going to create a folder. So you can just use that new folder button, which is this one. I call it LiDAR. I called it LiDAR video since that's what I'm making, is the LiDAR video. And then I'm going to go back to my downloads and I'm going to click and drag this file into my LiDAR video. Maybe. There it goes. And that just will keep everything in the same spot. Downloads do get deleted every once in a while in frame, but your documents will not. So that's why you want to move it. All right, so we're done there. You can go ahead and close this. You can actually go ahead and close this window, but leave it up just in case the tile you downloaded isn't the exact one you want. Sometimes it's a little hard to tell from the map. So we're going to go into frame. And we are going to start putting our map together. So just so we're at the same spot, I'm going to go ahead and click the world view. It's projected, so just go with it. But here's my world view. And I need to add this loss file into my ArcGIS program. It's not in there right now. It's just in my files in the file explorer. So I'm going to go to Analysis. I'm going to go to Tools. And that's going to open up my geoprocessing menu. I need to type in Convert Loss. Convert Loss. It's a conversion tool. and it's going to convert an LAZ file, which is what this is, to an LAS file. Essentially, an LAZ file is a zipped loss file. So go ahead and click on that. And then for my input loss, I need to find it. When you start, there's nothing in your contents. So I need to go to my folder. And I'm going to go to Frame User, Documents, ArcGIS, Projects, and then find that Lidar folder. So there's my Lidar folder. And I'm just going to click the file. And this is a .laz. Again, this is a zip file. It's not going to show up until we convert it. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And then all I have to do is pick a target folder. This is similar to just kind of clicking the folder again, but this time your project folder is default. So it says project, it says folders, and then whatever you called this project, that is your default folder. Leave everything else the same. I know this says that you have no loss files. Just go with it. I mean, technically you don't because you have an LAZ file, but it seems kind of counterintuitive. So go ahead and run. And once you do, you will end up with a file or multiple, depending on how many you do, in this folder. So my folder is very full because I've done the entire project already, but yours will just say this folder, it will have those, and then it will have your little loss file. And it will be this one right here, .las, or this one, .las. This one is the one we're about to create. So that's step one. Then what you need to do is you need to create a loss data set. Now, this is necessary for some of the files, not necessary for some of the others, but you know what? If you forget to do it, it's no good. So we're just going to do it with all of them, redundant for some, necessary for others. So we're going to go back to our toolbox. We're going to get out of convert loss, and we're going to go to create loss data set. Now what this does is it projects your data set. Some of them are automatically projected, some of them are not, but like I said, it's a little hard to tell until you start running the tools and they all fail. So everybody's going to do this. So you're going to go again to your folder and you're going to go in and you're going to click on, this is the one I did, so that one. You could do multiple at the same time if you want to combine. Remember, if we look back at the actual campus, I would really probably want at least a couple of these boxes to have the entire campus. So if you want to download multiple and just take a section of it, you absolutely can, but it's not necessary. You can look at whatever tile you want. And then it's going to go ahead and give it a name. You don't have to change that. What you do have to change is if this coordinate system does not say what you see here, NAD 1983, 2001 state plane, then it'll either say Virginia North or Virginia South, then you need to change it. So you click this little globe and it's already set, so we're good here. But just to show you how to get here, you're going to go under projected coordinate systems. You're going to go to state plane. You're going to go to NAD 1983, 2011 US. What are we in, meters or feet? We're in feet. We're going to go to US feet. And then this is alphabetical, all of the states. So scroll, scroll, scroll until you find Virginia. You'll notice there's Virginia North and a Virginia South, and that's just depending on what half of Virginia you're in. Honestly, they're very, very similar, so it kind of doesn't matter which one you pick, but it will be slightly more accurate if you're in Northern Virginia if you pick North, and Southern Virginia if you pick South. So Northern Virginia. And leave all of this alone again. Go ahead and click run. It'll take a few minutes. And then the only difference is it will now have a D at the end. It'll say LASD, meaning loss data set. So that really gets you started. At this point, you can click on that lost data set, go to add to current map, and it will do just that. It will add your data set to your map. So when you add it, it will zoom to the layer. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. and I'll go ahead and turn it on for you. And initially, it doesn't look like a whole lot. In fact, it's not showing you anything. This is the extent at which the file loads, but it is not the extent at which you actually see the data. So you can see it actually says data percentage 0. It's not going to show you anything. So that magic number is actually 1 to 2,510. That is a good scale to view all of this data. Now, what do I mean by that? Right now, we're at a 1 to 7,494. And if I change this to 2,510, it's going to zoom in my map. And it's going to give me my points. So this is what it comes up with initially. Those are elevations. I can zoom out a little. I can't zoom out at all, actually. That is the furthest I can zoom in and still get my data. 2,510. I can move around my screen. And I actually wanted to focus on this Haymarket Park and Playground. That's actually the area I studied for this project. And I angered it by moving around, so it's not too happy with me. Okay, there it goes. So what you can do with this is, first of all, you want to determine what area you want to study. So I'm going to change my base map to imagery because topographic isn't really going to help me much. And that's kind of how I decided I wanted to do this playground as my area. So what I'm going to do at this point is make sure that the area I want to study is actually covered by the tile. So if I really wanted the area over here, I would need to go get the tile to the left of this. But I just want to make sure that the area I actually want to study is within the tile, and it is, so it's good. I also want to put a bookmark here, and I have done that already. So I go to bookmarks. I'm under map right now. I go to bookmarks. I do a new bookmark. I give it a name and I save it. And I actually called it the 1 to 2,510. That way it's is the exact area that I'm going to zoom into for all of my analysis. So right here, this is a construction area. We've got some baseball fields. There's a little playground here, and this is the area I want to focus on. Okay. So styling it. To style it, make sure you are on the layer that it is selected. And then you can go to Lost Dataset layer right there. That will give you your symbology options. And if you click the little arrow drop down for your symbology, it's telling you here are your options. You can use just straight elevation points, which looks like this. There it goes. Or you can do an elevation surface, which is a little bit smoother. It looks like that. Either one is fine for your elevation layer. So really, we've done 2 layers at this point. We've done the imagery layer, and we've done the last data set, or we've done the elevation layer. Okay. After that, we're going to start doing some analysis on this layer. And one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to export it as what is called digital elevation model. And that looks like this. That is not what that is. Give me a second. There we go. I have a lot of maps, so I apologize. This is a digital elevation model. It doesn't look super interesting to begin with because it's flat. This does look much cooler in 3D, but what it does is it takes all of those individual points that we saw in this map, and I'm going to change it back to points just to kind of drive this home. Points, and it smooths out the surface. So that's what we're seeing here in the digital elevation model. And you need to create one of these in order to do raster functions, because a point cloud, which is what we see here, this is not a raster. This is millions upon millions. Right now it's showing 4 million points. And the density isn't even turned the whole way up. So if I turn the density to maximum and wait for that to load. And I can also change my display limit of points to much higher. It's covering as much of the surface as it can. In fact, each one of these points is one return from the plane pulsing down the laser and then it returning back up and recording the elevation. So what the digital elevation model does is, again, it just smooths out that surface. We have values between 320 and 461. And if we go back to the point cloud, it's exactly the same, 320 to 461, but it is a full raster. If I zoom in completely, eventually I'm going to reach pixels. Each of those pixels, I believe, is 30 meters in size. That's the resolution that this particular, each of those pixels is half a meter in size. That is the resolution of the pixels. So they're pretty tight. Okay, so to get from our surface or our point cloud to a what we call digital elevation model, pretty simple. Make sure that your point cloud is activated, and then you're going to go up to imagery. Nope, I'm ahead of myself. You're going to go to lost data set layer, data, and then you have this export button here. And if you click the drop down, you can export the raster. You can also search for lost data set to raster in geoprocessing. As you've seen in this program, there's 10 ways to do the same thing. So leave your input the same. You can give it an output name. You want your field to be elevation. We're going to leave all of this interpolation the same because that's what it's doing. Is it's going to estimate between these points and do an interpolation. Leave all of this the same. The only thing you are going to change is we don't want 10 meters of resolution. We want 0.5. That's about as small as we can go with this particular data set without breaking the program. So you're going to go ahead and run that. I do suggest you go ahead and just call this DEM, Digital Elevation Model. That's what I did. And then you are going to want to add this to a new map. So if you go ahead and run this in map 1, because you're going to be doing a layout with different maps, I would go ahead and insert a new map. So you're going to go to insert, new map. That's how I got map 3. Ignore map 2 for now. And you can then just actually copy and paste. So I could right click, copy this layer, and then paste it in a different map. I'd have to right click on the map name and then just go to paste. So that's how you add from one map to the other. So if you want to run everything in map 1 and then just create different maps later on and move it for your layout, that's fine too. Okay, so now we have this digital elevation model, and I'm actually going to stop my video right here just to cut down on the length of them. So I'll see you in video 2.